to prevent fatal injuries in football, I have invented this new type football helmet, which I believe will do much to rid the game of fatalities.
Dark side, light this bitch up.
What it do, Leather Helmets family. We are back. We are back, man. Oh, shout out to Diesel, man, brand new to the league, making an appearance here on the show tonight. I got the homie AC with me. I think he's gonna be audio only, doing some traveling. So, AC, you can hear me?
Yo, what's happening? You can hear me, bro?
Yes, sir. I appreciate you sliding through, man. I know they can't visibly see the cheers, but cheers to you, my brother.
Man, cheers, bro. I ain't got shit with me, man. I'm driving right now, so you know what I mean? I ain't got shit with me right now.
Hey, man, I appreciate you sliding, man. Make sure you're being careful, though. I don't know if you behind the wheel or wifey behind the wheel, but yeah,
I'm driving. I'm good though.
that's what's up. We do have a little visitor that's going to drop in with us. He had to reset his PC. Some shit was acting up, but yeah, man, we're gonna get right into it, man. NFL draft was, we didn't record last week, obviously because it was a holiday for us NFL fans. Yeah. NFL draft popped off. I think the first few picks went pretty much how we expected them to go. And then we had, I guess, the first surprise.
What do you mean by that?
I guess we had the first surprise of the whole draft at what, 7 or 8 was the eight was the Falcons.
Falcons, man.
And just like that, when we get to where we're talking about, the big homie Scream joins the show. Let me see if he gets loaded up here, because this is perfect timing, being as though this man is a Falcons fan. Shout out to DC. Rich, what's good? Let's see if he's with us here. But yeah, I think we all were shocked by that pick, though. AC, I don't know what your thought process was on it, but it was definitely a shocker.
Oh yeah, man, definitely shocked. I think.
Test.
Yeah, we can hear you, bro.
Hear you.
I
Okay,
think.
cool. I just want to make sure my mic work.
Hey, I think for the most part, I thought Falcons were going to go defense.
Especially right there with all those defensive players available.
Yeah, I felt like they were going to go defense, man. I did not see quarterback at all.
Yeah, so it was perfect timing. As soon as you rejoined, I had got to the Falcons pick, and that's kind of why I wanted to bring you in here, Scream. How did you feel about the pick number 1? Can you hear me? I think he's having some technical difficulties here. But yeah, I mean, I think with Dallas Turner sitting there, you had the end from Oregon was there. You had a bunch of defensive tackles, and they wound up taking a defensive tackle in the top of the second.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I
just baffled.
I'm still shocked that they took a quarterback and that they took Penix. You know what I'm saying? Like, out of all the quarterbacks, they went with the old guy when you already got an old quarterback. Like that was a shock.
Man, all that age stuff don't matter, man. It really doesn't.
It-
Jaden Daniels the same age. He gonna start his first. That's all the difference is, bro.
It really
That
don't
age
matter.
stuff don't matter. It doesn't matter.
Though that's a big difference though, because you just said it. He's gonna start, so you already know Jaden Daniels.
But he's starting for bums though. He's starting for the Commanders. No, he literally has no expectations. Neither does Penix, bro. It's really the only reason it's being talked about as much as it is because it's Atlanta, and they didn't do it right by fixing what happened after Matt Ryan was out of there. And this is how you correct it. You get a veteran guy. He ain't gonna be here for 2 years. That's really about it. Penix take over in his third year and go from there. The only way the draft pick look good is in 3 years. You can't talk about it right now. That's really it.
But
I don't.
go ahead, AC.
I don't agree with the statement that the only reason why it's talked about is because it's Atlanta. That's not why it's talked about. It's talked about because y'all just paid Kirk $100 million guaranteed. That's why.
But there's a 2-year out. I mean, look at the roster first off. This team went 7-10 for the third year in a row under a dummy who could have gotten the playoffs, but one, bad play calls, did not allow that to happen. There were 3 losses just this last season that could have went the other way. You had no business losing to Carolina 9-7. You had no business losing to Chicago. You really had no business losing to Minnesota. You had no business losing to Arizona. You lost 4 games you could have won. Been in the playoffs, the division. You were literally the favorite for the division at the beginning of the season. At the end of the day, you had to get a guy who can win right now with the roster as constructed. That guy is Kirk Cousins. In the future, you're going to use Penix to have a future star for the next 10 years. That's all it is.
You know,
it's nothing more than that.
Scream, I saw something that you guys have an out even after next year. You guys have an out in his contract. So, I mean, you're going to take a bit of a cap hit, but it's not as large of a cap hit like, let's say Denver Broncos took just to get rid of their quarterback. Denver Broncos 85 million to get rid of their quarterback.
Yeah, they down bad for a hot little minute. But I mean, at the same time, like I do see the other side of it. Like when I was watching the draft at first, I was mad. I'm not gonna count. I was like, you had everything you wanted right there. Like AC just said, you had Dallas Turner.
Right.
You had Letu.
Yeah.
You literally had 1 million people. And then the same thing happened in the second round, which did piss me off. I'm not gonna lie. I don't get the trade up for Rook. I ain't got no tape on that, man. That is some Madden reaching shit in second round. I don't know why they did that. But the third round with Braylon Trice, though, I love that pick because he gonna be a stud. I love that one.
I don't understand teams. You talk about trading up. You look at the Panthers who traded up to get Leggett. I think that guy's there for you if you don't trade up. Like there was literally no reason to give away draft capital.
Pick, man.
Not
at all.
Yeah, I don't understand that, and I that's kind of what I want to talk about here. While we're on the draft, I really wanted to get your insight on the Falcons piece, and we're all fans of teams that aren't really doing great right now. So when you're sitting there and your pick is coming up, and I can tell you all night I was like, we need to draft a running back. Blake Corum was sitting there in the third round, and we did not take him. Now, I also see that we got possibly the best center, second best center. I like the guy out of North Carolina too, but I think we got the best center in the draft in a position of need for us. So I'm like, damn, it's like you appreciate the pick, but it wasn't the flashy pick. Now, on the other hand, the Falcons went with the flashy pick and didn't go with the pick of need. How do you guys feel when you're sitting in draft day and you want the flash, but you don't get the flash, or vice versa?
It's tough.
Go
ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna say this. So, in Minnesota's case, we needed a quarterback.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? We went position of need. But if our guy wasn't there, I feel like it should be position of need and best player available type. You know what I'm saying? Like
Raiders, for example.
Yeah. You said what?
Yeah.
Like the Raiders, for example.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So I felt like with us, it was quarterback or trade down in my opinion. Like we either gonna get our guy or we need to trade down or take best defensive player available. Granted, our quarterback was there. We was able to go get him. With the Falcons situation, now you said that y'all in win now mode, right? You did say that. Y'all in win now mode. Well,
I,
that defense,
I
that defense
And that
needs some help.
and that division and that
A
division.
lot of those games y'all gave up was because y'all defense couldn't get no stops. Y'all ain't rushed the passer very well. That's why Dallas Turner was on everybody's mock draft for y'all because y'all need pass rush. Like, you know what I mean? So that was a position of need and an elite player sitting right there, and y'all went with quarterback who's going to sit. Like, you know what I mean? That's why that didn't really make sense to me, especially after you said that y'all in win now mode where y'all defense still needs help.
I think you got a point there, but here's the thing about it. Again, even with the defense looking like that, 7-10. So you're right there in the middle of the cusp. There were a lot of 7-10 teams last season. We just happened to be the worst of them because we lost to all the other ones. In your case with Minnesota, it's funny because if you don't get McCarthy, do you reach for Bo Nix? So it's for me, it was weird for y'all to trade up, but I wonder if Sean Payton really did blow smoke to get y'all to trade for nothing, just to move up for nothing. I don't know if that's the case, but I don't think Bo Nix was a fit for y'all. So I am glad y'all got JJ because I think he'll fit well with that offense. Because y'all offense is explosive outside of the running back position. So that's going to be very interesting.
Well, we got Aaron Jones, so it's about to be explosive. But I will say this: we weren't going to take Bo Nix, but we traded up because I think it wasn't just Denver sitting right there. We also had the Raiders, who also need a quarterback. And you know what I mean? We couldn't take that chance of, okay, maybe the Raiders trade up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Sean Payton Sean Payton a fucking asshole. I don't believe nothing.
He stinks at that, so hey, it don't matter to me.
I don't believe nothing he said. I think they took Bo Nix because they needed a quarterback and they were going to get a quarterback regardless. But I don't think Bo Nix was their guy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean when you look at it from a standpoint of the defense, number one, we cleaned house. We did have a better defense under the old coordinator Ryan Nielsen. I think he went to Jacksonville down there with Doug Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to retool that defense now in a 4-3 set. But here's the thing. We grabbed Jimmy Lake, who's the former head coach at Washington. So for him to get Braylon Trice, a guy he coached and also the guy who created the most pressures the last 2 years in college football, it's a win-win situation that he even fell to the third round. Would I have picked him earlier? Definitely. I'm surprised he fell to the third. But it works out for the 3-4 scheme he's going to have out now because we have a lot of linebackers that can go sideline to sideline. So I'm not too worried about the defense. I think it will improve. I ain't going to say it's going to be like it was last year or top anything like that, but it'll be okay. Like, it won't be as bad as people make it seem because when you look at Atlanta's defense last year, they actually were top 11, so it's not that far off. They only allowed 321 yards a game.
So the one positive...
It's not that bad.
The one positive I can say about you guys taking the D tackle is the uncertainty of Grady Jarrett. It's just the D tackle that you took was a strange. It's like a project. It's like one of those athletic guys who you hope that can turn into something. But I think he can learn from Grady Jarrett at least, and he's a little bit of insurance for if Grady Jarrett doesn't play another season or gets hurt for another season. So I mean, it's not the worst. I'm not mad at the Falcons draft. You know me, I'm a Penix supporter. I'm his biggest.
You the biggest believer in that man for sure.
I thought, in my opinion, he was the best quarterback in the draft, but that's just
Atlanta
my
had him
opinion.
at 2.
I had
Atlanta had it Caleb, Penix, and then Jaden. That's crazy to me. I thought it would be Jaden over Penix though.
And my thing is, Jaden and Penix are the same age, but Penix has more quarterback experience, in my opinion. He's more NFL ready. So I'm glad he fell to a team that affords him the opportunity to sit back and learn a year. And then like I said, I think you guys get out of that contract next year, especially if it doesn't go good for you guys and Kurt gets hurt, because Kurt's an injury away from his career being over, in my opinion. That Achilles is we get spoiled by guys coming back so quick from the Achilles injury. 10 years ago, Achilles injury was your career was over with an Achilles injury. So, you know, Kirk's getting up there in age. He's never been mobile anyway. So, I don't know, man. I love the pick actually because a lot of teams need to do that. And we talk about this a lot in our on our Discord chat. And Vel is one of the people that's like, oh, I draft a quarterback every single year if I didn't have, I wasn't certain about a guy. You guys aren't. You paid him 100 million, but you are not certain that's the guy. Can we?
You know,
Here's
the thing about that 100 million, and this is where I don't understand the money talk either. Amon-Ra St. Brown just got 120 million as a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Cousins is a quarterback. That's a fair trade-off if you ask me. 100 million for a quarterback is nothing compared to giving that to a receiver, running back, any other position in the NFL at this very point, because you need a quarterback to do anything. When's the last time we've seen a dud quarterback win anything?
Yeah.
I ain't saying Kirk is not a dud, because we know he don't win in the playoffs. And AC got a lot of experience with that. I know he gonna bring it up. But again, you plugging Kirk into the similar offensive style that he had in Minnesota. All you got to do is go win games. It's an easier division at that, like you said. This division is easier than the NFC North has ever been.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think the South is very wide open, except for Carolina. They just absolutely stink. If you're a Carolina fan, I feel bad for you.
Go ahead, AC.
I mean, you're sitting here saying that like that is just that easy. Kirk doesn't make the playoffs. He has 2 playoff appearances in his entire career. No, I lied. 3. He has 3 in his entire career with 1 playoff win. So he's been around, I can't remember what, like 14 years or something like that.
Going on, yeah.
Going on
like
13, yeah.
Yeah, and only 3 playoff appearances in that time frame. And you gotta think, he's had some great players around him. Like he came to Minnesota. We were fresh off an NFC Championship game appearance. Literally.
Yeah.
Before we signed him, the year before, we went to the NFC Championship game, lost to the Eagles. The year we signed him, we missed the playoffs. Literally, like with the same team.
We can't put all that on Kirk, though. We got to be honest. We can't put all that on Kirk.
Wait. He had 2 top 10 defenses, 1 top 5, and 1 playoff win to show for it. You know what I mean? And yes, I can put that on Kirk because he fumbled a fucking season away. Like literally.
I know you guys can't see the chat here, but Richie says he also lost to Daniel Jones in the playoffs, which is a big indictment on any kind of player.
So the thing is, Richie, it's not 180. It's not 180 million.
So
that's the total contract. Yeah. It's 100 guaranteed. We're not. At the end of the day, I don't care about the full contract because that's not what matters when you really sign people. You can get out of all these contracts. When you look at the guarantees for a quarterback, put it like this, and this is where it's also confusing as a fan. People want us to get a black quarterback for how long? You tried to force Deshaun Watson this way. He went and got 230 million guaranteed, and he ain't doing nothing in Cleveland. Lamar, you wanted to bring him in a trade. Unfortunately, Blank didn't want to pay him. He got another MVP, but didn't do nothing about it in the playoffs. You've been trying to force a black quarterback to Atlanta. It happens, and then you're complaining about it. People don't know what side they want to pick, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is.
Lamar made the AFC Championship game this year. We're gonna say that. So, I mean,
not making the Super Bowl or not winning it don't matter, bro. That's and no offense to nobody team that don't make it or nothing like that. That's just as bad as getting blown out in the wild card, bro.
They were a wide receiver fumble away from making it. Like Lamar played well for the win, and then they just abandoned the run game completely.
Yep. That's the main thing. I thought. When you look back at that game, I think Harbaugh is really going to kick himself because why were you not running?
You
the fucking
held
football?
Patrick freaking Mahomes scoreless in the second half, and all you did was put up 3 points with 2 minutes 34 seconds left.
It's crazy. Yeah. So too many mistakes, man. But I in the chat here they said Steelers had the best draft. Before I let you get up out of here, Scream. Who, in your opinion, had probably the best draft? Give me your top 3 teams that you thought had a very good draft.
Chicago is obviously one of them. You cannot go wrong getting a quarterback of the future in the way they've surrounded him with talent.
Yes.
You gave this man DJ, and we got to talk about that trade a different day, but like the Carolina Panthers got fleeced by a long shot.
Oh, yeah.
You gave up a number 1 receiver, another number 1 pick that turned into a quarterback you could have had if you just chilled last year. Now they get Keenan Allen using a pick from that. Then they got Tyreek Stevenson, who played really well his rookie season. And you got Rome Odunze. Like, I ain't saying the Bears making the playoffs. I think their defense got a little work to do. But it's hard to not see them try to fight and do a little bit better this season. I think they probably had the best draft just overall. Another team that had a really good draft, Minnesota is definitely one of them too. You cannot go wrong picking the quarterback of the future and trying to entrust him with talent that Minnesota already has. You got TJ Hawkinson. Jettas ain't going nowhere. Jordan Addison had a phenomenal rookie season. I don't trust the Aaron Jones thing. I'm glad it's a one-year deal. He a rental for sure. I think they end up trying to get a running back next year in the draft. And then the other team that I would say had a top 3 draft, y'all gonna laugh at me when I say it. I know this. The Eagles. You cannot underestimate how this man, Howie Roseman gets the things that he gets to get 2 potential future number 1 quarterbacks and cornerbacks in the same draft. I don't know, man. That's tough. They just keep building that defense. But they got to go win some games with Hurts now and prove people wrong. I think those are the top 3 drafts for me.
Okay. And I think, in my opinion, I'm an NFC East guy. Howie is a little overrated in the draft process, in my opinion. He's great fleecing teams in trades. He kills in the trade aspect. But with that defense, we talk about all the Georgia players that he added in the last few years. He brought in all these cornerbacks for the 28th ranked defense. So
yeah, they got to change that coaching around and figure it out. They had it good the last couple of years, but
something to look out for. When that offense isn't carrying them, ain't really much. Because what happens is they get up big on teams, and teams got to pass. So when teams can run on that defense, that doesn't look good for me. AC, who do you think had some?
So we had 2 of the same ones, but I'm gonna say I say the Bears, the Ravens.
And that was 4 for me. I like that.
Only reason why I had the Eagles in my top 4, but I didn't put them in 3 because we said this shit last year and they took all the Georgia players, like Jim said, right? Like he was like, yeah, they got all the Georgia players from the championship. Their defense is gonna be elite, and I like Cooper, but he's white. Like, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, but I'm going until a white cornerback changes my perspective on that. He's a white cornerback, like, you know what I mean? And like, I'm just gonna leave it at that. He's a white cornerback.
I mean, history is not in his favor. We can say that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
he's definitely moving to safety.
Yeah. History says he's gonna be a bum at cornerback. I say the Ravens. I wanted JK, and his name JK. The cornerback that they got.
Wiggins.
Oh, to my TJ Tampa or Nate Wiggins. Tampa. Yeah, Nate Wiggins is those too.
It was Tampa.
Yeah. Oh, Tampa. Tampa's nasty too.
I
wanted him to fall to Atlanta so bad, man, and they just kept picking defensive players. I'm like, why are y'all not taking a corner? Are we going to get Xavier Howard or some shit? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I wanted us to draft Tampa, and of course Wiggins. I feel like he's gonna be a dog, and you add that into what the Ravens already have in Hamilton, and and Humphrey. One of them gonna be Humphrey replacement, like yes. You know what I mean. So yeah, one of them gonna be Humphrey replacement. So I like what the Ravens did. Of course, they always find them Jim O linemen as well. So. And then I had us at 3rd. Only reason why I put us at 3rd, I like what we did in the first round. Like, that was elite. We was elite in the first round, but we didn't have any middle round picks until the 4th round. So I feel like it was a lot of guys that we could have drafted if we would still have some of them picks. So yeah.
Yeah. So my 3, I had the Ravens number 1, and I just don't understand how they do it. And this is what Howie envisions himself to be when it comes to drafting. He drafts, you look at the mock drafts, you get all the top guys. And you have a guy like a Kyle Hamilton who fell down on a lot of different people's draft board. And he was one of my number 1 players that I loved in that draft. And I'm like, damn, how do Ravens continue to get these guys and are always picking in the back half of the draft? Kyle Hamilton falls to them. Everybody thinks he's not going to be good. And he was up for Defensive Player of the Year this year. Getting the center, Lindenball, was the center that I wanted. You know, that was the center that I thought Dallas would take, but they took Tyler. So you got the Ravens continue to do it year after year. They do it the best. And then right behind them in the same freaking division, the Steelers. The one thing the Steelers did this draft, and it wasn't flashy, is they got their, because their O-line was one of the oldest O-lines in the league last year. What they went and did is they went and re-upped that O-line with maulers. And with a back like Najee Harris, who doesn't have the best vision, when he was at his best is when he was running behind that Alabama line that was just moving people out of the way. You got a bunch of guys that can just move the line. He should be more effective. Then you got Jalen Warren over there. You add in Russ with a little bit of mobility. The Steelers could really be a problem this year. So I think everything that they did in the draft is like with these teams, the teams like the Steelers, the teams like the Ravens, you never really see them rebuilding. They're just retooling. And they don't wait to the very last moment to do it. And this is another case of that these guys retooling that offensive line. And then in my third spot, I go with the Bears just off of you had a lot of early picks. And the thing about having a lot of early picks, you did the right thing with those early picks too. Like you said, getting Caleb, then doubling back and getting Rome was elite because now, yeah, you got DJ Moore, yeah, you got Keenan Allen, but yeah, here's another piece because Keenan Allen isn't young. I'm gonna go ahead and get this young guy who I know's a dog and bring him in here to help our young quarterback. So those are my guys, man. I think overall it was a great draft. I watched it from start to finish. I actually watched the Bleacher Report. They had their own live cast of the draft, and it was a lot better because I'm not the biggest Nick Saban guy, but yeah. What do you guys think?
I agree with you, man. I think it worked out. And then another thing with the Ravens, why they were up so high for me, like AC said, a receiver away. People sleeping on this pick because he went to the 4th, but they got Tez Walker out of NC. He can put some weight on and take those hits. He'll be fine. He will be fine. I think that's going to be an interesting slot guy for them because Zay Flowers can play any position. I don't care what they talking about.
Yeah,
that guy's nasty.
Outside slot. He's nasty in the slot. He could play H-back. Like stop sleeping on the guy. He showed that he can do it. Again, just get out of your own head, young guy. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, the Quez pick was all right. I mean, granted they got him in the 4th, but that guy was Mr. Drops in the during the Senior Bowl week. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
hey, that's why he fell. They say because
yeah,
he
was getting clamped. Like, he was getting clamped. So we'll see.
All right, Screen, you got anything else for us before you get out of here, man?
Hey, look, I'm looking forward to a good Super Bowl for year 40, man. Congrats to Undisputed for beating Cooley this morning. We seen that game.
Yes, sir. We're gonna get
good luck to Jacob and Roger on Saturday freaking morning. That's so stupid. I might be home to call that, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, don't even worry about it, man. Eat breakfast and watch it or something because that's gonna be crazy. But
yeah, man, appreciate y'all boys, man.
Definitely appreciate you sliding through, brother. Yeah, man. So I didn't really have an NFL minute topic. I felt like that was kind of our NFL minute there, talking about the draft. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on in NFL? Pause.
That's crazy. Let me think. I'm trying to see. What do you the quarterback from Tulane? You saw the Packers drafted him, right?
Yes.
You know, a lot of the talk is like, you know what I'm saying, they saying that they're gonna do like it's probably like another like Matt Hasselbeck type joint where they're gonna build him up, then trade him. Like, how do you feel about that situation? What, do you think they're gonna get like any type of value from him in the coming years?
I think you saw a team, you saw Washington do it with Cousins and what's his name, Robert Griffin. And I think if Robert Griffin wound up being a good player, Cousins would have been a nice trade asset. Same situation here. Packers need Love to continue to play well, and they need the kid from Tulane to have a good preseason. So now you got this guy stashed on the bench, and it's like, all right, one of these teams whose quarterback dry or their quarterback goes down. They got some tape on this guy from the preseason. It could work out. I like the guy. It's just the competition. Same thing with the corner that what's his name, Quentin Mitchell. Like you were in Tulane. You did what you were supposed to do in Tulane. You clamped everybody up, but it was Tulane. It's Tulane company. Yeah. So it's the same thing with the quarterback. It's like, all right, well, does that transfer to the NFL? So that's why I love preseason, because you get to see these young guys get out on the field and go against NFL caliber talent.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I like Mitchell. I don't know about the Tulane quarterback. Arm strength wasn't that much, but we see that, forgot the coach for Packers. Like he knows how to build a quarterback. Look what he did with Luck. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
Todd McShay was real. Every time I watched NFL Live, leading up to the draft, Todd McShay would always bringing up the Tulane quarterback. So, most of the time those guys, I do appreciate the amount of work they put in, the amount of film that they watch. So he knows something. So we'll see if it's all about, does it translate to the next level? Is what it was.
Yeah.
And then as far as NBA go, NBA playoffs, we're in the thick of it right now. Boston beat the brakes off of Miami last night.
Man, that shit was pathetic, man. Like, come on, bro. It's a playoff game, closeout playoff game at that.
Yeah. So you had Minnesota do the Suns so dirty, and look real crazy. What do you think about that Minnesota Denver series?
I feel like it's gonna be a good series. It's all gonna be about matchup. It's gonna be like a chess match, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who guards who? Because Minnesota goes, like, they got three bigs. You know what I mean? So
that's what I'm saying.
Who's gonna guard Jokic? Like, who's gonna guard Aaron Gordon? Like, you know what I mean? Who's gonna be the primary defender on
Murray,
Mr. Big Shot? You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I don't think they can have Ant guarding him a lot, because then he can get in foul trouble. So
And he's gonna be gassed. And that's one thing. That's one thing I see Denver does well too. They don't have Murray on the best guy either, because when they need those shots from Murray, they need him to be able to get those shots. One thing I can say though, I know this ain't the LeBron cast, but the Lakers put up much more of a fight that series than I personally thought they were going to do, and then they did last year in the playoffs. So I thought that was a real back and forth, could have went any kind of way series, and it was a better series than 4-1 in my opinion. I thought it was a real good series.
Choke.
Choke. That dude's crazy.
Definitely. Man, those up double digits every game.
Every game. That's crazy. You think Darvin's there next year?
Hell no. I don't think LeBron there either.
So yeah, LeBron has an player option. So we'll see what happens with that.
That's why I said I don't think he there next year either, man. I think he gone.
What do you think about this? His Richie's in the chat. What do you think about the Knicks? What do you think they do here? Do they close it out?
Yeah, they'll probably close it out. I mean, they're more talented, but if Embiid show up, then the Knicks is done. But that guy hasn't showed up, so I don't know. Yeah,
it looks like Indiana's about to send Milwaukee home. If you're looking at this live score right now, they're up big, and then at 9:00 that game tips off. So I'll be tuned into that. But I do think the key to the game is how healthy Embiid is, and if they're going to just continue to let Maxey go crazy. Like somebody's got to do something about that, and it can't be. I mean, I know it's been this way all year. It can't be Bronson or Buzz. Pause. Yeah, that was crazy.
Hey yo, crazy.
It can't. Somebody's got to do something, And when it come down to the last couple of shots, like somebody else got to step up. But yeah, I think it goes 7. So, I think the Sixers get it tonight, and the Knicks get a chance to close it out at home. So. That's it
Yeah.
for the NBA. I did have a topic here, man. I know you're not a newcomer to the WNBA like a lot of us are. Do you currently have a WNBA team? And if not, let's pick our WNBA teams live on the show here tonight.
So people go call me bandwagon. I don't have so I don't have a WNBA team. However, I follow players like Aja Wilson. That's my favorite player. Like Candace was my favorite player. Like
Right.
Aces, man. So when the Aces play, who I'm rooting for. But I hate that they played together and they just run through the league. Like
They
what I mean?
just
They're
they
like some
snap.
bandwagon shit. But yeah, it's really about the players to me, honestly. Like not more so a fan of a team, but the players.
Yeah, and with and I mean, I guess it's so new. You get a little bit of a pass on that, but
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at you going with the um
Aces.
Aces. I'm sitting here drawing a blank, but I decided, what, I liked Angel Reese in college. Cardosa was just one of the more dominant college players, and they're going to a team that if I join that team, I can't be considered a bandwagon because they haven't done anything yet.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm gonna go with the Chicago Sky. I'm gonna try and watch some of their games. Like they play Friday at 8, so that's the first game I'm gonna try to tune into. And yeah, man, I guess it's the first time I've been excited for women's basketball because since like Maya Moore, I mean, I like attitude on the basketball court from my men's basketball and my female basketball when they just going at each other. And I think you got a little bit of that going on. I saw Tarasi talking trash. I'm like, that's what I like.
That's the GOAT right there,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, if Maya wouldn't went on and did her philanthropy stuff, we'd be talking, we'd be having a different story. But yeah, you can't really argue that. Yeah, Tarasi nasty. So yeah, so Chicago Sky. Rich said he a Liberty fan, so we're gonna Rich gonna be a Liberty fan. We got you over there with the Aces in Las Vegas.
Man.
So it's
What elevator?
so
Fifth
over.
floor. Okay.
Over here in Leather Helmets, man, we down to one game left to be played. Like Scream said, Undisputed moves on to the Super Bowl, and now you have Roger versus Jacob on the NFC side. Who they're gonna be playing Saturday morning. Who you like in that game?
I probably Roger. I don't know, man. Jacob got a good squad. Hold on, man. I'm probably about to I'm probably about to die real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. You give me. But yeah, the one thing I can say about the Roger Jacob game is Jacob is like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like you don't really know what player you're gonna get. Are you gonna get the guy that's gonna make the bonehead throws, or you're gonna get the guy that's gonna use his running back and pick and choose his spots, go to his big tall receivers, and have a dominating offense like he's had all season. Even in games that he lost, like he lost to me, I beat him by double digits because, again, he was just throwing me the ball, and his defense was Swiss cheese. Roger's a very cerebral player. He plays. He reminds me a lot.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
Whoa.
That was crazy. You said he was just throwing you the ball. That's crazy.
He was. You got it. So yeah, but yeah, Roger, he's more cerebral. Reminds me a lot of Drex in his style of play. He kind of takes what the defense gives him, and he doesn't really, make too many bad throws. But if you can force him into some bad throws, or his first read isn't there, sometimes he does, gets himself in a bad spot. So it's going to be interesting. I'm rooting for Jacob just because I always root for chaos. But Roger will probably wind up taking that game, and then you'll have a first time opportunity on the NFC side versus Undisputed, who can be the only person this season that goes who has a chance to go for his second Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So that's that. We possibly might have a new champion. So we'll see.
Hopefully, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Keep that parity going.
Keep it going. Keep it going. Because it's not all that's doing is just making a case for this playbook experiment that we ran this year. So we're not even gonna get it because we done did that show 3 weeks in a row. Team selection. We've always done team selection. Like early June-ish, like right before the game came out. We do our little show. But what do you think of team selection after the game is released?
What is it gonna change, really? I mean, I don't know. I don't see nothing wrong with how we doing it now. I mean,
Right. I mean,
regardless, the game gonna change even after the game comes out anyway. So you know what I mean?
Like my only fear with that type of stuff, and it kind of plays into the same thing too with when we wait to that first update is, like losing players or whatever the case may be. Like if a team makes a trade and you already got that team, like if we're picking after the game is released, you're less likely to be surprised by any trades. And then like once we pick teams, it kind of is what it is. But the later, I just same thing with my fantasy draft. I try to have my fantasy draft as close to the start of the NFL season as possible. So we're picking from the most cleanest group of players. You don't have to worry about injuries and stuff like that. Like one of the worst things ever happened was, we had our draft in June and players got hurt and you got people who picked in the first round that you won't even have on your team. So that kills a whole season. That would be the only thing. But we also run into a little bit of that with the trades and stuff when we start after the first update. So that's not a big factor. I was just thinking about it for the simple fact this year is the first year where we won't be idle because we'll have NCAA. We'll be doing things. We probably won't even really think. We probably really don't be thinking about Madden. And like Corey says in the chat here, if we are going stock books, you get a chance to play around with different playbooks and stuff like that. So it's an option, something that I wanted to run by you, see what you thought.
I mean that shit don't bother me now. So I'll be neutral on it. So
yeah, we'll see as we get closer. These are a lot. I like to bring up a lot of this stuff too. So when we go to voting and stuff like that, and peep this: if y'all ain't voting when all these polls go up, then it's on y'all. Y'all just think I'll be just throwing them up just for fun. Some of them are for fun, but some of them is for data collecting too. So you choose not to vote. That's on y'all. And the last little thing here, I did get an update. Neon will support NCAA, so clap it up for that. We're happy about that.
Yeah. Support my Canes winning the NCAA championship.
So yeah, as we get closer and closer to NCAA, I'm getting more and more excited about it. I'm guessing we'll get some details. We're in May now, so I'm guessing we'll start to get some details, some gameplay footage, and I hope there's some kind of demo or beta that drops before the game drops, because we definitely could use some information, and that shows us how we would need to move as far as creating our league and stuff like that. So I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited for it. So
I just hope they don't fuck it up, man. It's been too long, man.
It's been way too long. I don't even care if they just re-release 14 with updated graphics. Just don't fuck everything else up.
Facts. I'm still playing 14.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dog. Just we need the dynasty back the way it was. Don't be adding or taking nothing out. Just give us the dynasty back the way it was. But yeah, for the parting shots, man. I know you. You stepped in here on a busy time for you, and I definitely appreciate that, man. So my parting shots is I appreciate you, man, and I want to say thank you for the support as always.
Of course, bro. Of course, man. I couldn't make it on. I'll be on. Tired as hell, though.
All right, man. I'm gonna let you go, though, brother. And fellas, I appreciate everybody that tuned in. And with that, we are out. Peace.
To prevent fatal injuries in football, I have invented this new type football helmet, which I believe will do much to rid the game of fatalities.
Dark side, light this bitch up.